Hey guys, I'm back with another video as promised. I'm gonna do this once a week video thing. So you guys saw the title, and it may be an unpopular opinion. I really believe that a lot of people feel the same way that I do. It's just hard to admit it, right? But in order to free ourselves from a lot of things, we have to live our truths and we have to speak our truths, right? So the title, Grandchild Free and Loving It. I am really enjoying not having grandchildren, and the thought of having grandchildren terrifies me. I never want my children to reproduce. And it doesn't make me sad. It gives me peace of mind knowing that right now today I don't have grandchildren. And as far as I know, my children don't want to reproduce. They don't want to bring children into this world. And this topic can actually go for children as well, because I regret having children. I love my kids. I love my kids dearly, but if I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have children. I would be child free, grandchild free still, right? I think a lot of young people, and my kids included, I think that they are seeing the writing on the wall, and a lot of them are opting not to have children, and it makes me happy. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of my kids. If they did decide to have children, I would of course love my grandchildren, but it would make me sad. To me, I feel like at my age, and I'm not super old, I'm in my 50s, early 50s, but I just feel like at my age, living as stress-free life as possible is important. A lot of people my age and younger, but I'm specifically talking about people my age, they have like health issues, blood pressure issues. You know, high blood pressure runs rampant. You know what I'm saying? And I could just imagine that my blood pressure will be through the roof. I do struggle with blood pressure issues from time to time, but I'm not on any medication. I know that if I had grandchildren, I would be on medication. And this topic is a selfish topic. I am totally understanding, understanding, and overstanding that my not wanting to have grandchildren, my preaching to my children don't reproduce is, and this is just specifically for me and my family. This has nothing to do with me giving advice or telling people what not to do. This is just strictly my story and why I don't want grandkids. The world is going in a direction that I'm not happy with. I believe that my children and my grandchildren will see a more dystopian, authoritarian future, and we're losing freedoms. Some people would call them privileges. Whatever the case may be, we're losing a lot of privileges, or there's talks on the table to take away rights and freedoms for all people. And who would want to bring children into this world? I have less stress. I mean, of course I worry about my own children. They're all adults, but I still worry about them. They're still my babies no matter how old they get. Life is harder when you have kids. You have other people to think about. You have to move a certain way when you have children. And to my subscribers who have been here, you guys know that I've always preached, once you have children, your life is no longer your own. We've talked about the people who feel like, the women who feel like mama gotta have a life too, the kids are grown, get out, and all that other stuff. And you guys know where I stand on that. I disagree. I believe when you become a parent, you're a parent for life. And no matter what my children need, as long as I have breath and can help or assist in any kind of way, that's just the type of mother that I am. Because they didn't ask to be here. I didn't either. But we're here. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like families have to stick together. My message is repetitive because that's my moral coding. That's what I believe in. Families have to stick together. So there's nothing I won't do for my kids. There's nothing they can't ask me for. There's nothing that I'm going to be selfish and not share with my children. Everything that I have, everything I got, they can get it. You know? There's not a time at night they can't call me. There's not a and they need me to be at a place, whenever, wherever, I'm there. I'm ready for whatever when it comes to my kids. And the thought of having grandkids and having to start the process all over again is wild to me. It's wild, it's terrifying, and I don't want it. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that because I don't have grandkids. And I will keep wishing and hoping that I don't have grandkids. The school systems are trash. Their teachers are quitting in droves. Kids are learning without teachers even in the classroom most of the time. There's online learning, and you know, what are they teaching the kids? What's the future gonna be for the children with no jobs? People are ruthless and only out for themselves. Nobody really has friends unless you have had them for years. You know what I'm saying? We live in a world where everything has to devour something else in order to survive. And that's a world that I wish I hadn't brought kids into. I wish I hadn't had some type of rose-colored glasses on and been selfish and naive when I had my kids, because they wouldn't be here. And it is selfish to want to bring, if you really look at life and if you really have a world view and you don't have on rose-colored glasses while looking, and you're honest with yourself, this is a cold, corrupt, cruel world. And we're living in it, and we're making the best of it. And no, I'm not depressed. I know this topic may depress some people. And if you have grandchildren, you love them. Of course, they're here. Love them. And I know you do the same for your grandkids. People with grandkids, they go to bat. They go to hell and back for their grandchildren, the same as they would do for their kids. And that's why I don't want them. I don't want grandkids. I don't want nothing else to worry about. I don't want to worry and stress can put you in an early grave. Who in their right minds will want to add innocent children to the mix of what's already going on? And maybe some people can't see what's going on. I can unfortunately see a lot of things coming, and still to this day I try to warn and tell people that are in my life, my everyday life. And I think that people get so busy and caught up in the daily grind and getting the bag and all that they don't want to participate in this kind of discussion all the time. But I feel like if we don't have these discussions and we put on rose-colored glasses, then You can get sucked into living in la la land, you know, and forget what the world's coming to. Forget what you know, what you see. I'm thankful that my children are not like that. They don't live with rose-colored glasses on. They do live their lives now. They enjoy their lives. They live their lives. For the most part, they have peaceful lives that I know. Well, everybody has stress, you know what I'm saying? But life is stressful, right? And that, which adds to my point, proves my point. Why would anyone want to bring children into the world? I know when someone tells me they're expecting, or they're pregnant, and then, you know, you have to put on that fake congratulations. And I don't really feel that way, but I do. I'm not gonna rain on anybody else's parade. I was gonna say something else. I'm not gonna rain on anybody else's parade, because, you know, it's not my place. And I guess that's what I'm doing in this video. But I just wanted to explain why I don't want grandchildren. And I know that there are other people out there like me who don't have grandchildren. They're happy they don't have grandchildren, because especially the people that are already, you know, trying to manage and survive life. If you have a little bit of peace, having grandchildren would just disrupt it. I see people having grandkids and they're so excited. I remember when my daughter got married, and everybody was saying, oh, you know, yay, grandkids are coming next, right, MJ? And I'm looking like, no, I don't want grandkids. Broke everybody's face. I don't want grandkids, absolutely not. I don't want that burden on my children. And the second thing is, you just never know how your children are gonna be born. You know, everybody assumes that when they have children, they're gonna be healthy, they're gonna be, you know, quote unquote normal, and then it could potentially not be the case. I tell my children all the time, like, if you decide you want to, in deciding to have children, you have to be prepared for whatever God or whatever the Creator gives you, whatever, you know, environmental things that you accept could or not accept. It could change it could alter the trajectory of your child's life. Certain decisions that we make can alter the trajectory of our children's lives. I gotta be real vague here, but those who, if you know, you know, right? I used to hate when people say that, if you know, you know, because I didn't know. And I'm like, speak plain, I want to know. But yeah, we live in a world where there's no plain speak anymore. You gotta be pleasing to most people's palates, and for the most part, I'm gonna try, but I don't know. Yep. You guys know I try to be as transparent as possible. But if you don't have grandchildren, back to the point of my video, if you don't have grandchildren, have the discussions, and you don't want grandchildren, and you don't think it's a good idea for your children to bring kids into the world, state your opinion. You just never know. They may be feeling pressure from other people to have kids. Oh, well, you're not getting any younger, or you're married now. When are the grandkids gonna start coming? And just because you're married, or just because you reach a certain age, does not mean that you need to reproduce. It's okay to say, not on my watch. I refuse to add cogs to the system. I refuse to bring children into the world to be systematically overworked, underpaid, running the rat race, playing this game called life. You know, there are some of us who don't like playing games. We just like things to be laid out plain and simple. All the game playing and butt kissing you gotta do to have friends, to be included, to participate, to help, to just even hold down a job. There's so much brown nosing and butt kissing that people expect you to do, and you know, it's a delicate balance of trying to be who you are and being liked, because being unliked can get you fired, picked on, bullied. I don't have those issues because I really don't care what other people think about me. I don't. Okay, anyway, so let me just, so that this video isn't super long, let me just go over the list of, not necessarily a list, but the reasons, again, why I just don't want my children to reproduce. I don't want to be a grandma. I'm not a grandma. I'm happy about that. Life is way too stressful to be bringing children into the new world. Bringing children into this new economy. There's so many questions about, you know, the future, what it's going to look like, how things will be ordered. Why, if there's so much uncertainty in the world, would anybody be happy about or praise their children for bringing new life? I call it new cogs to join the wheel, the system, to help feed the beast. Why would anyone want to bring children into the world where everything is there's so much confusion surrounding the new world, the future? And I guess in a sense it's always been that way, but now more than ever, there's a feeling in the air. I can't explain it. Maybe it's because I'm an empath. There's a feeling of something's coming, and most people aren't aware or prepared mentally, spiritually, physically for the new world, the new economy. And if you're not ready yourself, please, for the love of everything that's good, do not bring children into the world. Tell your children how you feel, if you feel the way I feel about grandchildren. And once again, if this is not to beat up on people who have grandchildren. If you have grandchildren, of course, love those grandchildren. But I know the level of stress that it adds to your life or your lives if you're honest with yourselves. I see grandparents helping out to buy school supplies when they should be like really concentrating on themselves. They should really be it's just like it's an extra burden that in the latter years of someone's life, you just don't need the burden. If you have them, love them, they're here. Go to bat for them and all that good stuff. But for those of us who don't have grandchildren, keep beating the drum. Do not have children. I'm going to keep beating the drum. I won't tell you what to do. I'm going to keep beating the drum. Well, my kids know how I feel. My daughter played a prank on me. She told me one day that she was pregnant, and I broke down crying. And it wasn't tears of joy. It was just she could not believe it. She was like, "Mom, I can't believe you're acting like that." I was so sad. I was damn near distraught. So, yeah. Telling me that I'm going to be a grandmother is not going to be a good situation. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't angry at my daughter, but I was so sad. And when she told me it was a prank, I was so relieved. And I said, "Girl, please don't play with me like that again." Don't do that to me. My stress level went woo through the roof, you know. Yeah, I hope that you guys got something from this video. I hope that at the very least I explained why I don't want grandchildren, and maybe you could, those without grandchildren or even those with grandchildren, could understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I just don't want to add to the mess, you know. I don't want to add to, I don't want grandchildren to come into the world and to have to play this game that we call life. I don't want grandchildren to have to deal with the hyenas of the world. There's so much bad stuff going on. Everybody's trying to, chomping at the bit to get to your kids at a young age. Everything from the cartoons they watch to the people we place in charge of caring for the children, the schools, the physicians, the agents, so to speak, that we entrust with our children. They don't always tell us the truth. And I just don't want to, the buck stops here, hopefully. I don't have grandchildren now. I don't know what the future holds, but I really hope that I stay grandchild free. That's one less worry. I want the buck to stop here. I want it to end with my children. I don't want people consider, they say, oh, what legacy are you going to leave? To what? To what? There's nothing I want to leave to this world. Yeah. I'm over it. I am not in any way, shape, or form depressed. I am not in any way, shape, or form hating my existence or not wanting to see another sunrise. That is not my condition. I just want to put that out there because I know this is like maybe a dark sort of topic, but no, that's not me. I am at peace. I love my life. I just don't want to add to the confusion of the system. That's the only thing I can say. Hopefully that those aren't trigger words. But at any rate, you guys, until next week, until my next topic, I'm hopefully these topics aren't like super dark for people. It's just reality, and I'm not gonna put on rose-colored glasses, and I'm not gonna if I'm gonna be on YouTube in any capacity, I'm gonna have to be able to say how I feel. That's what social media is about. And if I've offended anyone, that has never been my intention. This video is just not for you. It's never my intention to hurt anyone's feelings or to belittle or badger anybody. I'm just stating my opinions. And hit dogs holler, hurt dogs holler, however you want to take it. But I'm not bashing anybody or down talking anybody that has grandchildren. Maybe this video is not for you. Maybe you don't have the insight. Maybe you can't see the writing on the wall. Maybe you don't understand what's coming. But at any rate, hopefully this video did some justice in explaining why I'm so ecstatic that I don't have grandchildren. Till next time, family, catch you in the next video. Peace.